Hellos and welcomes everyone, AnthWolf here with more Pillars of Eternity. Where we last left off, we had entered the little quaint hamlet of Gilded Vale and had a terse conversation with the local magistrate, who seems to be running things while Lord Raedric was at his wife's bedside expecting his heir, I suppose. Unfortunately, we had a 3 bells tolling indicating the death of a Raedric family member, basically. We've also got this giant tree here, who the magistrate seems to have been hanging people from. And of course we encountered a mage, or wizard called Aloth here outside of the Blackhound's Inn. We've had a look. He's a level 2 wizard, he is a wood elf, and he's from the Adir Gentry. That's his background. He has a lot of perception and intellect. I'm sure that's perception. Yeah, it is. He has some leather armour, which increases his AoE ability. And at range, he has +5 accuracy. And he also has some greater defences against distance enemies. Bloody hell, get the words out. He has 7 law and 1 mechanics. So that's not too bad. He has quite a few spells as well. We can have a look at his grimoire. He has 5 level 1 spells. At any one time, he can have only 4 of them saved in his grimoire, and he can use any of them 3 times, it seems, per rest. At the moment, he has a dazzling light, decreasing will and leaving them dazed. We have a fan of flames. We have a ice touch, causing freezing damage. And we have minor missiles, which I suppose is a Pillars of Eternity version of the typical magic missiles attack. And of course the other spell that we haven't actually added to the grimoire is Wizard's Double, increasing the caster's deflection. So that might be handy for survivability. In fact, we may take that instead of Dazed. There we go. So we've edited the grimoire slightly. So, with him in our party.
Sure.
Oh, his equipment, yeah. Oh, hello. He has a grimoire and he has a one-handed scepter. The Blackhound's Inn is a fine place to sit and have a smoke. Some more Pilgrim's Crown. Before we enter any buildings, we'll just go on a journey, see if there's any more dialogue options. Oh. Some more villagers having a drink, telling lewd stories. Orfra. I'm trying to remember what Kalissa's daughter was called. Which house is this? Oh, it's still part of the inn. Okay, that makes sense. Thinking about joining the family over in Dreyford. They have it far better than us. We have Orfra's house, who the people were talking about. Oh, what's this? There's another villager here. Oh, and there were some people with some different coloured icons again. I don't know what that stands for. So Locks, the usurper, and Clink. Yeah. In fact, let me have a quick look at my dispositions again. I don't know if this matters for Aloth. I think it just matters for my situation. I have 1 benevolent and 1 diplomatic reputation so far. I don't need to be cruel or aggressive. I'm an ally of Gilded Vale. The most powerful enemy we've defeated so far is a bandit. Hello. Can we have a word with you? As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. Sure. You see a lone man standing in a field. He looks around, surveying the crops. Occasionally he bends to examine a leaf up close. He is intent on what he is doing, completely absorbed in his work. This man approaches him from behind. He moves slowly, but does not mask his approach. In his hand he holds a large sword. There appears to be no malice or hatred in the man's demeanour. He almost seems pleased. The first man hears his approach and stands, turning away from the plant he was inspecting. His face breaks into a smile and he opens his arm to welcome the approaching man. The smile freezes into a grimace as the second man thrusts his sword through his stomach, its blade now protruding from his back. His arm slowly falls to the side, and blood starts to drip from the sword onto the plants below the men. As the first man crumples to his knees, the second pulls the sword out, a tear slowly falling down the cheek of his still smiling face. Is that both of them? No, it's a different story once again. So peering into this man's soul, you see a small group of people gathered around the ruins of a house. The destruction continues out from the single dwelling through the entire village. Not a single building still stands, rubble is scattered everywhere. One of the men in the group leans over something in the debris. It is this man, younger, barely more than a boy. The man reaches out and shakes the boy by the shoulder. The boy makes no sound and doesn't respond to the man's disturbance. The man looks up at the other members of the group and shrugs, standing to rejoin his friends. The boy suddenly sits up, eyes wide. He scrambles backward away from the group, looking around in horror. The group moves towards him in unison, eliciting a whelp from the boy, who tries to move farther away. A woman in the group puts out her hand, stopping the rest. She turns to them reproachfully, motioning them to stay, then looks at the boy on the ground, who is trying to push himself through what remains of a wall. He seems unaware he has even stopped. The woman slowly moves towards the boy, hands out, speaking in a low, calming tone. For a moment the boy doesn't even hear. He just closes his eyes and braces himself against the wall, expecting violence. Eventually the woman's words work through the fear and he hears her. He opens his tear-filled eyes and stares at her. She holds out a hand to him. He looks at it, seemingly confused by the offer, then hesitantly reaches out. She takes his hand in hers and leans down to help him stand. So it's like we're looking into the past of these people. The usurper, probably not someone we want to know, but we know possibly the future, what may occur. He doesn't seem like a nice man. He might have reasons for killing the unexpected individual that he did slay. And Clink seems to have been pulled into some sort of outlaw band, I'm guessing. And as for the other one, I guess he was maybe a paladin commander of some order or another. Now over here there was something we could pick up earlier, yeah. Actually there's a lot of things we can investigate as well. Some more springberry. Oh, hello! You again! Despite the rains, the stalks feel as dry as stiff as a locust husk. Interesting. We'll have to remember that. The ghost was travelling north, I guess. Gold watch shoe, minus 20 fatigue for 2 minutes. And this is an entrance to just another building, it seems. Dorian Chamberlain and Rodolphia Necator. Actually, let us zoom in so we can actually see these people. Looks like another Firekin. Sorry, not Firekin, godlike. Let us reach out for his soul. You see a large crowd gathering in the middle of a courtyard. This man stands in the midst of them, a cloak pulled over his head, holding it closed around his neck. The crowd is congregated around a platform and they all watch transfixed as a man is led to the platform flanked by 2 city guardsmen. The man is shackled hand and foot but carries himself as a noble man, not deigning to even glance at the crowd. The cloaked man pulls his cover closer around his face and turns the leaf, hunching over to avoid being seen. A crier on the platform unrolls a parchment, beginning to read, but the man pays no attention, intent on getting away. The crier's voice grows louder and even more intense as he reads, and voices from the crowd start to pronunciate his sentences. The jeers and shouts grow more frequent with each one. The cloaked man flinches and his shoulders droop. He breaks from the crowd, coming to the edge of the courtyard as the crier reaches the end of his proclamation. The crowd grows silent again, save for the occasional shout. The man turns back to look at the platform, seeing his father kneeling before the block, neck exposed. The executioner moves into position, lifting his axe to strike. The man turns suddenly, unable to watch. There is a wet thunk, and the crowd breaks into cheers and applause. He leans against the wall, regaining his composure, then straightens up. With obvious resolve, he strides off, away from the crowd and his legacy. Alright, interesting. And we have Rodolphe here. Let us reach into your soul. You see a pair of immaculately polished leather boots and an impeccably maintained goatee. Their owner is a slightly hook-nosed man with a wicked grin and narrow eyes. He bobs his feathered hat at a nearby merchant as he ambles by. A small piece of parchment held tight in his fist, ink staining his fair fingers. He seems to know most of the merchants in the market, stopping to engage some, nodding at others, and even bartering for minor goods with a select few, always smiling, laughing, and exchanging jibes. He approaches a heavy-set Omora, smile plastered stiff across his face, and jokes about the weather. She jokes back, subtly palming him several gold coins. When he walks away, the paper in his hand is gone, and the smile on his face is far more genuine. He tips his cap to her, winking, and trundles off with a new spring in his step. So you're some sort of rogue of some type, doing something underhanded. Hopefully he didn't hurt anyone, and then we can get along just fine. I am a Paragon Paladin. I do not approve of underhanded tactics. At least I don't in this game. The one issue with being a Paladin and being diplomatic and honest, as well what we're meant to be at least, is that there might be situations that call for us to be sneaky, and it will really hurt us if we don't act as such. But we'll see what situations occur. We know there's more grain in there, Trumbull. We won't settle for scraps while we grow fat on our crops. A muffled shouting emerges from inside the mill. The first of you drunkards comes through that door gets a shot between the eyes. Gods hear me, swiner, I'll put you down like a dog. Come away for now, lads, but we'll be back, Trumbull. And we'll have fair prices, or by the flame we'll have a reckoning. Interesting. So we have some tasks. Obviously we have our main story, I'm guessing, but we have a quest here. Some of the farmers in the Gilded Vale claim that Trumbull the miller is withholding grain. The hungry farmers are on edge, and it seems likely that the situation will escalate. Well, we are going to be going to the local inn at some point, so we suppose we can speak to the farmers there. And we need to speak to the innkeeper. And we need to go to the inn for rest anyway. Oh. So let's see if we can go into the mill, or at least speak through the door to the miller here. Oh, we can go in. An elven man stands before you, his relatively stocky build suggesting a life of labour. His face is pale and drawn and his eyes wide. Behind him a younger man and woman exchange worried glances. Get back if you value your life. Come now, put that down before you hurt yourself. He only raises the club higher. I mean it, I won't have Swiner and his lackeys threatening me in my own mill. I thought you could use some help. Those people out there seemed pretty angry. Really? Hillia's tits, I could use a friendly face. I take it you heard some part of what that crowd's asking for. Grain. As if I've got it all tucked away somewhere. Swiner's been egging that lot on for days now. They've been keeping clear so far, but if things keep on like that, they are... I don't know how much longer we've got before things get nasty. Oh, messy. Sorry. Please, if you're not here on his behalf, maybe you could speak to Swiner. He won't listen to me anymore. Just explain that we're all getting smaller rations now. We're all making sacrifices. I have some other questions. Yes? My name's Balmung. I only just arrived in Gilded Vale. You picked a bad time to come visiting. Gilded Vale's had all its shine scraped off. It's just a big dung heap now, and Swiner thinks he's king of it. They're all of them mad. Who is this Swiner, anyway? The dwarf? The one standing out there spreading lies among the villagers. Bastard's been here for decades, and he hasn't gotten any kinder with time. Who are you? Swiner rubbing foreigners into his little crusade now? No, we don't know. Let's find out what the ruckus was outside. We know. Yeah. All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of thin air. I can't hand it out for free. I pay the farmers for the crops they bring in, and I sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Black Hound on the west side of town for ale. And Swiner and his lot sure don't mind that part. You take a look at the fields on the way to town. The crop's blighted, and most of what I'm getting from the farmers, it's gone off, rotted through. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I've barely got enough good grain to go around. Swiner's howling after things he has no right to. If you don't want those people in here with torches, maybe you ought to stop lying to me. So maybe we've noticed that he's lying somehow with our resolve. He blinks, taken aback. I'm not... Look, it's no lie. The stores really are low. And with so little grain going around, I had to raise the prices for some people. There are folks in this town that deserve far better than Swiner and his lot. People who have done more for Gilded Vale. What do you mean? Swiner the rest. They've always been troublemakers, loud drunken fools. That woman with him, her soul traces back to Deirdre, that wretched brigand, and it shows. We have good people in this town. People still hanging on to what's left of it. They deserve a little more, that's all I'm saying. Maybe I can have a talk with Swiner then for you? I'd be grateful if you did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it, and we've all had to make some sacrifices. I'd be in your debt for it, if you can convince him at least. So there was an option there, if we had the intellect, but we didn't. And Aloth wasn't chipping in. Oh! Let us quick load then. Oh, bugger. I need to go through that... Oh no, I don't have to go through that conversation again. Right. This is going to be very careful then. Can I I'm going to try something. I just want to test it for my own personal thought.
Nice and quiet.
Can I take this? Right. Let's have a quick look. We're faintly good with Gilded Vale. And now I'm just going to quick load it. You know. Yeah, I quick saved there, didn't I? It seems that if they catch us, if we're visible, we will lose reputation. Something to bear in mind for the future, most definitely. Glad we learned it here and nothing turned violent. But we have some more people to speak to in the Blackhound Inn. When we get to that point. Which will probably be in the next video, to be honest. It's getting quite close. We'll just investigate what's up here, and then there's probably a couple of people we can talk to. Despite the rains, the stalks feel as dry and stiff as a locust husk. For a spell. This looks like another way out. Yep. Then we should go over here. Because I think there was someone here with a unique name we could speak to. Scattered between the roots are bracelets of twine and bead, wilting flowers, and notes half erased by the rains. Found some more blood moss. Hello there. You're not called villager, so I suppose you have something to say to me.
Were you looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
Looking for anyone who can help me feel better. Gives you an understanding nod as he takes a long drag from his pipe. My condolences. He exhales and turns his attention away, watching the village around him. Welcome to our lovely village. Well, you've got a unique icon, so like a unique picture, which is interesting. Oh, and Aloth is the other person I was going to speak to, yes. Okay. Then I suppose we've mostly investigated the entire village and we're back to where we started. You have a sign here. The Blackhound Inn. The windows are clouded with haze of accumulated smoke and cooking grease. So when we come back, we will actually enter the inn and we have a few things we can do here. So, I hope you've all enjoyed, and I'll see you all for more Pillars of Eternity in the next video. This, of course, has been AnthWolf, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye now.